So we have a question here. It says, which of the following pairs of compounds belong to the same homologous series? Now, these are the compounds. These are the options that we have, and we have pairs of compounds here. Now, in homologous series, the most important thing you should know if you want to identify a pair of compounds that belong to the same homologous series is that each successive member differ by CH2 unit. So if you have the first member with 1 carbon atom, or if you just have any member, let's say with 20 carbon atoms, if the next member has 21 carbon atoms, then the difference between the first, that 20th member and the 21st member has to be CH2 unit. So the next member has to have 1 carbon atom more than the previous member, and then 2 hydrogen atoms more than the previous member as well. So in this case, let's apply this knowledge here. In this case, we have 3 carbon atoms and 3 carbon atoms here. So they can't even be in the same homologous series because this is 8 hydrogen atoms and then this is 6 hydrogen atoms. So they are not in the same homologous series. By virtue of reality, this is even an alkane and this is an alkene. So they cannot be in the same homologous series. So we have this C4H10 and C5H10. While this has 1 carbon atom more than this, that's the C, but the H2 is not adding up because we have 10 hydrogen atoms here, but we also have 10 hydrogen atoms here instead of 12. So if we had like 12 hydrogen atoms here, then it will be, this pair will be members of the same homologous series. But as it is now, they are not in the same homologous series. So we go to the next member. This is C2H4. And then this is C4H10. So let's assume, since this has more carbon atoms than this, let's assume this is the second member. So if this is C2H4, the third member will be C3H4. Then we're adding 2 hydrogen atoms to this. So the third member will be C3H6 because this is CH2 more than this, has CH2 units more than this. And then the fourth member, the one that has 4 carbon atoms, ought to be C4H8 because it is this, the addition of CH2 to this will give you this. But the fourth member that we have here has C4, 4 carbon atoms and 10 hydrogen atoms. So this is not a member of the homologous. They are not pairs. These pairs are not in the same homologous series. Then we go to the last option here. This is C2H6 and C4H10. So we'll follow the same pattern we did here. While this is the C2 here is the second carbon atom and it has 6 hydrogen atoms. So the third member, that's with 3 carbon atoms, will be C3H8. Remember, CH2 unit. So the addition of 1 carbon atom to this gives us this 3 carbon atoms. The addition of 2 hydrogen atoms to this gives us this. So this will be the third member. So this will be the succession of this. And then to find if this is the successor of this, we are also adding CH2 units to this. Then plus CH2, we will have C4H10. So it means this pair and this pair are in the same homologous series. And the correct option is option D.